So good day everyone. This is the continuation of Group 4's report, which is goal setting for peak performance. And I am Mary Ibeth Pauya, and I'm going to discuss the goal setting guidelines. Research shows that goal setting facilitates performance, yet it would be misleading to think that all types of goals are equally effective in enhancing athletic performance. That is because later on, when we will be going to be coaches, we will going to encounter various and different types of athletes. So these athletes have their specific needs to be fulfilled. Thus, when we are going to create goal setting, we should make sure that these goals that we are going to create is right for the athlete's needs. So in this discussion, we will be making use of the works produced by Burton et al., as they have specific guidelines concerning the most effective types of goals to use. So the first thing to consider in goal setting is to set specific goals in measurable and behavioral terms. So explicit, specific, and numerical goals are more effective in facilitating behavior change than general do your best goal or no goals at all. Because imagine you have an athlete and he or she wants to win his upcoming event. So how can you help that athlete to win his or her game when you're just going to tell him or encourage him to do your best, do where you are good at? So, kaya mo ra. Then, which is not helpful at all. So, in order for you to help that athlete, you should at least create or make goal setting, like what are the things or the skills needed to be improved in order for that athlete to be more to master the skills needed in his or her sport. So another example would be during our or way back summer class, this summer class, during our swimming class. So after we had learned specific strokes and kicks, after we had learned the techniques, we were expected to swim or to cross the 50-meter pool using the strokes that we had learned. Next, we have is to set moderately difficult but realistic goals. So Locke and his associates have found direct relationship between goal difficulty and task performance. That is, the more the difficult the goal, the better the performance. Because there are people na when they encounter challenging goals, they they do all the means in order to achieve those. They are more driven by the difficulty they are facing. So that is only true when the difficulty of the goal does not exceed the performer's ability. So unrealistic goals may only lead to failure and frustration. Thus, it is recommended that goals to be set are difficult enough to challenge athletes, but realistic enough to be achieved. Which is definitely true because we cannot give what we don't have, right? Set short range as well as long range goals. So recent research revealed that short and long-term goals are needed to maintain motivation and performance. So short-range goals are important because they allow athletes to see immediate improvements in performance and in doing so enhance motivation. So additionally, without short-range goals, athletes often lose sight of their long-range goals and the progression of the skills needed to be obtained. So when you join a competition, what is the first goal you have in mind? That is to win the game or win the competition, right? So imagine that winning is your long range goals. So what are the steps or what are the skills needed for you to obtain, needed to be improved in order for you to achieve that long range goals? So this short range goals are like the stepping stones for you to achieve the long range goals that you are aiming. Next, we have to set process and performance goals as well as outcome goals. So process and performance goals orient the athlete to focus on task relevant strategies and procedures that needs to be executed to have good performance. On the other hand, theory suggests that outcome goals has inherent weaknesses because first, athletes have at best only has partial control over outcome goals like winning because no matter how the does his best, he or she cannot control the behavior of his or her competitor. Second, athletes who employ the outcome goals, usually become less flexible in their goal adjustment practices. Because imagine your outcome goal is to win, then you lost a game. So your goals has been set, it has been planned, but it has been disrupted. So from that point, you would wonder or um, you're going to think, how are you going to proceed now? Because one of your plans has already or one of your goals I would not achieve. So, although it has weakness, they can facilitate short-term motivation by helping athletes set long-term priorities and maybe um, especially useful away from competition. So benefits of adapting outcome goals is only realized when outcome goal is combined with the prioritization of process orientation immediately before and during the performance. So when we say process orientation, it is a focus on the present and the steps needed to be performed successfully. So it allows a person to pay attention to the lessons learned and of the enjoyment of participation and the character development along the way. So emphasizing personal performance and process goals in an environment where outcome goals predominate, coaches create greater opportunities for meeting the success needs of all athletes. Because those highly gifted athletes who easily succeed the performance of their opponents learn to compete themselves and in turn reach new performance heights. So focusing on process goals directs the athlete's attention way to or from outcome and puts it on task relevant cues. So the next one, we have to set goals for practice and competition. So when implementing goal setting program, people frequently mistake of only setting goals that relate to the competition, such as winning the game. This does not imply that setting competitive performance goals is inappropriate. Rather, it suggests that practice goals should not be forgotten. Because what we practice is what we or what ano ginapakita sa practice is amura ang amuman ang gapakita no, or kung ano performance mo sa practice amo man riyan sa during competition. So most athletes report that it is easier to get up and motivated for a game or match, whereas additional motivation is often needed for daily practice. Next, we have to set positive goals as opposed to negative goals. So goals can be stated in either positive terms or negative terms. So although it is sometimes necessary for athletes to set goals in negative terms, it has been suggested that whenever possible, goals should be stated positively, because this positive goal setting procedure helps athletes to focus on success instead of failure. So example of this would be um, so kunwari in a football competition and you are goalkeeper. So the negative goals of you would be I should, or you're going to say, I should stop messing on my defense. Whereas when you are going to employ positive goals, you will going to say that I am going to improve my defense. So this positive goals as opposed to negative goals is really helpful, no? Because positive goals could help you see or could help you focus on the success, because um, negative goals actually could could direct you to things that waay pa gani natabo ginaisip mo dayon nga matabo bala, which could affect your motivation. Next, we have to identify target dates for attaining goals. So target dates help motivate athletes by reminding them of the urgency of accomplishing their objectives in realistic length of time. So of course, when you are going to be a coach later on and you are training your athletes, so you should set target dates for attaining goals, such as attaining needed skills that needs to be improved. Because for example, that athlete has an upcoming game. Syempre, you should create kunwari amujang skills nga i-improve. Then dapat by the next week dapat na-achieve ron siya sang imo nga athlete, so that you could be able to mas create kapagid kang more challenging and could enhance the skills nga na-obtain ron kang imo nga athletes. Next, we have to identify goal achievement strategies. So all too often, goals are properly set but never accomplished. So because of this, athletes fail to identify goal achievement strategies. That is, the athlete fails to understand the difference between setting goals and developing and initiating effective goal achievement strategies. So, an important ingredient for any effective goal setting program is the identification of multiple ways of achieving goals. No? Because sometimes we are just going to set a goal, but we fail to be reminded, or we failed to think what are these, or how am I supposed to achieve that goal of mind. So you should always take consideration of ways to achieve that goals. So record goals once they have been set or they have been identified. So sometimes coaches and athletes are not consistent in writing down their goals. So it is easy for the athletes to focus attention on their goals soon after these or those goals have been identified. Yet, over the course of a long season, it could be forgotten. So therefore, it is useful for the athletes to record their goals in written form and place them where they will be seen. Because yes, that is right. When sometimes naka-create ka ng amo dyan ang goals nga that should be achieved. Amo dyan gina-aim mga goals. But malipatan mo siya oftentimes kung hindi mo siya ma-write and you could not or hindi mo matrack kung ano na kunwari, your goals is to enhance your skills. So, these skills, natapos mo na na-achieve mo na biyang skills. So, hindi mo siya ma-track down kung waay mo write ang goals nga na-identify mo ron. So, for you to proceed on the next goals, you should always track down what are the goals that has already been achieved and the goals that needed to be achieved. Next, we have provide goal evaluation. So Locke and his associates concluded that evaluative feedback is absolutely necessary if goals are to enhance performance. So athletes must receive feedback about how present performance statistics such as battling average, assists, goal scores, or steals made is readily available. So other goals, however, require the coaches to make special efforts to provide evaluative feedback. So feedback is very or crucial to the athletes because through feedback, athletes will be able to identify and know what are the things needed to be achieved, skills needed to be improved, and skills that should be acquired, no? So that they will be highly motivated to achieve those skills needed, as well as maka-improve man sang ila performance in their sports, no, in their fields. Next, we have provide support goals. So a goal setting program will not succeed unless those individuals who are paramount in the athlete's life support it. So this typically includes coach, the athlete's family, and teammates. Therefore, efforts must be made to educate these individuals about the types of goals the athletes set and the importance of their support in encouraging process towards the goals. So imagine you have an upcoming event and these people you need the most, your family, your teammates, your coach, motivates you a lot. So this could also help you improve your performance because through their support you will be highly motivated in your game. On the other hand, when these people does not support you much, you will be, and thus otherwise your game might deteriorate, no? Something like that. And lastly, we have to set group goal. So the group task must be clearly specified along with the process for achieving group goals. So when setting group goals, long-term team objectives should be identified. Clear consequences of short and long-term goals specified. Team goals progress assessed. progress towards goal or group goal rewarded, and team confidence fostered in group goals. So there are 4 types of goals in any team. So the first is the individual's members' goal for self. Second, the individual's goal for the team. Third is the group's goal. Fourth is the group's goal for the individual member. So that would be all. And the next topic is discussed by Miss Shanley Lassibel, which is the goal setting system for coaches.